So here we are on Cockatrice. We're playing the stupidest goddamn deck in the world. It's obviously Battle of Wits, and let's try it out. This is a Grixis version of Battle of Wits, and my opponent will be on the play. Much easier to shuffle a Battle of Wits deck when you don't have to shuffle 250 cards. This is the worst hand in the world, but we're going to keep it, because there's land. Hopefully I'm not playing zombies. And I'm not. There we go. That is a hell of a top deck. Oh, that is a top deck. So we just need to stay alive till turn 5 here. And we get an Arbor Elf here on his side. The fact that he's running green-white has me a little concerned that we're going to see a Ray of Revelation. But what can you do? We will drop our island and end the turn. So long as he doesn't have the ability to cast Ray of Revelation, I believe we just win this game. He's not going to be able to do 20 damage in 3 turns. I drop the Chromatic Lantern next turn, and ooh, gather the Townsfolk. So it's green-white humans. Maybe. This deck's really fast, I'll tell you that, if it is green-white humans. It has the ability to win on turn 4, but he had a suboptimal draw. So we have all the humans. More human than human. Remember that song? I do. And he's going to ping me for 1, which is fine. So we're going to draw and another mountain. So we're going to go mountain and Chromatic Lantern and end the turn. So basically he has to hit me for 19 damage here. And that gets him there. Or have an answer to my Battle of Wits next turn. It's an intangible virtue. That pumps his creatures a little bit. So he'll get an attack. He'll get 2 attacks. 6 and maybe another 6. This kind of makes me wish I had a Ray of Revelation right now. Knock out the intangible virtue. So he's going to swing in for 5, knock me to 14. There's an island. And we tap our 5, and we drop Battle of Wits and end our turn. And he smiles at me. So he can get in for 5 more. If he drops another intangible virtue, he can get in for, we'll say, 7 more, and he concedes. See if he wants to go for a game 2. If not, we'll post this up and let you all laugh at me. He's gonna go. Obviously, we don't have a sideboard because it's goddamn Battle of Wits. He is actually unlocking his sideboard, which means he's bringing in Ray of Revelation for sure. which is fine. I am running counter spells. There are a bunch. There are 4 syncopates, a negate, some Izzet charms, an essence scatter, some dissipates, some cancels. I'm not too concerned about that if I can draw into my stuff. I mean, it's Battle of Wits. You really don't expect to win. So we'll shuffle up, and he's going to play. So let's draw our 7. That's a pretty great 7, actually. I feel like if I can draw into another land, I can drop Jace on turn 4, and that gets me digging. We also have Rakdos Return, which means access to a red source is a good thing. He drops an Arbor Elf. So we will draw. We draw an island. We're going to drop the Swamp. And we're going to Tragic Slip. We're doing this on his turn because we don't want him to get an activation out of the Arbor Elf. And we'll end. So right now we will have the ability to drop Jace on turn 4. If we can get a red source, we can Rakdos Return him pretty hard. And then it's just put him in top deck mode while I dig for battle. So he plays a Temple Garden and he comes down tapped. So it's running a little slow right now, which is only to my advantage. We'll drop an island in the turn. I'm a little nervous if Silverblade Paladin comes down, but again, it's Battle of Wits. What can you do? I should really be listening to some music, but when you do music and commentary side by side, they kind of get some feedback over each other, and I've got to figure out how Frank Laporte does that. He drops Druid's Repository, so that's a good ramping card. We will draw, and we draw a Mystic Retrieval, which you probably don't know what that does. It returns an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty good with Cyclonic Rift in my hand right now, because I figure if he swings for if he drops a Penis Worm, I can do something good. So he does some haunting. And he's going to end. We're going to draw. I could double Cyclonic Rift here and set him back a little bit, but I think we just Jace and Factor Fiction. And he'll take out Jace next turn, which is fine. I think no matter what here, we take the Dissipate. And he's thinking. He says, Remember that song? Things that make you go, So he gives me the choice between the Dissipate just confirming his. We are going to keep Snappy's going to go to the bottom of the library. Where is move to bottom of library? These will come to my hand, and we'll end the turn. So he can knock out Jace this next turn. I'd really like a red source at the moment. There's a cat currently digging into my leg. That hurts. And he pays 3. Maybe a Lingering Soul's coming up. Which, he Oblivion Rings Jace. That's actually not the worst thing in the world for me. Because now, if I can overload a Cyclonic Rift, I get Jace back at full power. Not to mention, if I can ping his Druid's Repository back to his hand. He had a rulings question on Jace. He wanted to know if I took damage. Which, I'm going to be honest, I mean, this isn't a deck that I expect to win with, so. He ends turn, so we will go untap and draw. And there is a red source. I think we take the shock and hit him for 3. Yeah, that's the plan. And he says, ouch. So he can only hold 1 card. And it's a Midnight Haunting. That might come back to bite him because I feel like he could use some tokens. And it looks like he's thinking it's Garruk Relentless and Craterhoof Behemoth. I'd say that's a good hit. So what are you holding on to? I feel like Mystic Retrieval might not be the worst play. I don't want to waste a Dreadbore on his tokens. So he's got 7 available mana, which means something big might come down. And he ends his turn. So we will untap and draw. There's a Swamp. Mystic Retrieval is a sorcery. 1 more land, and we have the ability to overload our Cyclonic Rift, which is pretty helpful. I think we can still do Mystic Retrieval and leave up... No, we can't leave up Dissipate mana, so we're just going to pass turn. I feel if he has something big, we can dissipate it, and that would be huge. So obviously he's going to swing in for 2. But let's see what he does here first. Double Druid's Repository. That's painful. So he is triple Druid's Repository. I feel bad that I'm going to hit him for a Cyclonic Rift that's going to ruin his day. And there's a land. I think we cast it here because if he's holding something big... Nah, let's wait, because he might be able to draw into something here. I could have gotten my Jace back, but we'll play it nice and slow here. He drops a Sun Petal Grove, and he will swing in for 2. He ends, which means we are going to Cyclonic Rift. And I get Jace back, sitting at 4 counters. And we will now take our turn. Well, we draw a Devastation Tide. That doesn't help us much right now. Do we factor friction here? Yeah. We have Battle of Wits, Is It Charm, and Swamp. I wonder what he chooses. So we cast Battle of Wits here no matter what. He could bring in Ray of Revelation. Wait, actually, no, we do not cast Battle of Wits here. I think here we have 7 cards in hand and we just pass turn. And he's going to be wondering why I didn't play Battle of Wits. It's because I'd like to have mana available to dissipate his Ray of Revelation that he's very likely holding. And the cool thing about Dissipate is it exiles it, which means a spell with flashback, it ain't getting flashback. And he takes my Jace back. I don't feel like that was an optimal play. Then again, do we Cyclonic Rift again here? Nah. We draw into our land. So we will go 5 for Battle of Wits and end our turn. What does he do? Sundering Growth. He does that at the end of his turn. We will dissipate that. He gives me a frowny face. He draws and he concedes. I think I might sleeve this up on Friday. This is fun. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you like these decks.